Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Diva. My identification number 2110 73 10 and 15. On this video, I would like to tell about language learning versus language acquisition. Okay, the first is the acquisition or learning distinction. Two distinct and developmental ways of developing competence in a second language acquisition. The first is language acquisition. Language acquisition is a process of children develop their ability to in their first language from the children acquiring a language. And then language learning. In language learning is, we know that learning is knowing about, but it is a language learning is known as we know about rules or the grammatical of a language. On the other ways of describing acquisition include, the first is learning, implicit learning. The second is informal learning, and then is naturalistic learning. The acquisition learning hypothesis claims that the adults acquire that the ability to pick up language doesn't appear at puberty. So acquisition is a very powerful process in the adult. Okay, the next is the first comprehensive model of second language acquisition based on Crescent's monitor model. The first theory of Crescent's monitor models is the acquisition learning hypothesis. Acquisition refers to subconscious process the children utilize in the acquiring their first language. And then learning is refers to conscious process that results in knowing about language. The next theory is the monitor language, the monitor hypothesis. It is, we know that learning has only one function. It is monitor or editor, and that learning comes into the play only to make change the form of our utterance. And then the next theory is the natural order hypothesis. Based on Crescent's, the natural order hypothesis has also been criticized. The morpheme studies in their non-methodological problems. It has reflect accuracy of the production rather than acquisition sequences. And then the fourth theory is the input hypothesis. We move along the developmental continuum by receiving comprehensible input, which is defined as second language competence in terms of systematical complexity, syntactical complexity. And then the last theory of Crescent is the affective filter hypothesis. It captures the relationships between the affective variables and the process of second language acquisition with respect to the strength of level or level of their affective filters. And then the next theory is based on Schumann's pigeonizations or acculturation model. It is on the basis of naturalistic studies. He noticed that early interlanguage resembled pidgin language with characteristic features such as a fixed word order and lack of inflections. And then the next is the linguistic process focus. The first is the monitor the monitor model, as I said before, it is about the learning language and then language acquisition. The second one is conscious reinforcement model. It is also transformance, as it is in this model language learning begins with when the individual has an intent to communicate something. Okay, I think that's all from my explanation. If I have mistakes, please forgive me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.